Someone insults you, and almost instantly, something shifts inside you, as if your mind reacts before you even have time to think. There is a tension, a tightening in your chest, and a quiet impulse that pushes you to respond, to defend yourself, or to prove something. In that moment, it feels automatic, as if the reaction is inevitable, as if the words themselves carry a kind of power over you. But what if the insult has no power at all, and what you feel comes entirely from the meaning you give to it? What if the disturbance does not begin with the words, but with your interpretation of them? Stoic philosophy begins with a simple idea that is easy to hear, but difficult to apply in real life. It is not what happens that disturbs you, but how you choose to see what happens. Someone speaks, a sentence is said, and in itself it is nothing more than sound passing through the air. But your mind does not leave it there. It immediately transforms it into something personal. You tell yourself that it is disrespectful, that it is unfair, that it should not have been said. And in that moment, the situation changes, because now you are no longer reacting to words. You are reacting to a story that your mind has created around those words. This is where the Stoics invite you to pause, not to suppress the reaction, but to observe it clearly. Because once you see that the reaction is internal, something important becomes possible. You realize that the insult belongs to the outside world, but your response belongs entirely to you. Epictetus expressed this with remarkable clarity when he said that it is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. You cannot control what people say, you cannot control their behavior, and you cannot control the way they choose to act. But you can always control how you respond, and that is where your real power lies. If someone insults you, and you remain calm, then the power never belonged to their words. It belonged to your ability to remain steady, to observe, and to choose. So the real question is not why people insult you, but why those insults feel so strong. Very often, it is because they touch something inside you that you are trying to protect. They touch your image of yourself, your sense of identity, and your need to be seen in a certain way. An insult feels like a threat, not to your body, but to your idea of who you are. And that is why the reaction feels so immediate, and sometimes so difficult to control. But the Stoics would ask a different question, one that changes everything if you take it seriously. Why should the opinion of someone else have the power to disturb your inner state? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself again and again that the judgments of others are outside of his control. So when someone speaks harshly, what they reveal is not your value, but their own state of mind. A person who is calm, disciplined, and in control of themselves does not need to insult others. So when you hear an insult, you are not seeing strength, you are seeing a lack of it. And when you begin to see it this way, something inside you starts to shift. The emotional charge begins to fade, because you are no longer taking it personally. Instead of reacting, you begin to observe. Instead of defending, you begin to understand. This does not mean you become passive, it means you become deliberate. And this is where the practical aspect of Stoicism begins. In the moment you feel the reaction rising, you create a pause, even if it lasts only a few seconds. That pause is not empty, it is where your freedom exists. Because it allows you to step back from the automatic response and choose something different. You can ask yourself, is this within my control? And the answer will always be clear. Then you can shift your attention to what is within your control, your reaction, your tone, your presence. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, because silence shows that you are not driven by impulse. It shows that you do not need to react in order to feel in control. Over time, this way of responding changes something deeper in you. You begin to see these situations, not as threats, but as opportunities to practice. Every difficult person becomes a kind of training. Every moment of irritation becomes a chance to strengthen your control. And slowly, you become less reactive, more stable, and more grounded. Not because the world has become easier, but because you have become stronger. This is what the Stoics meant by inner strength. It is not loud, it is not aggressive, and it does not seek to prove itself. It is quiet, steady, and consistent. It is the ability to remain calm when others are not. It is the ability to choose your response when others react automatically. And it is the ability to remain in control of yourself, no matter what is happening around you. So the next time someone insults you, remember that the words are not the problem. The only question is whether you choose to give them power. And if you pause, even for a moment, you may discover that you already have control. If this idea resonates with you, write in the comments, "I control my response." And if you want to develop this strength further, return to this reflection whenever you need it. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and as always, be well.